Welcome to the real reason your feet hurt and 3 steps on how to fix it. Hi, my name is Jessi McMaster. I'm a holistic fitness trainer and a massage therapist, here to share tools that help you take your health into your own hands. Really, to help you bridge that gap between when you're in pain or you have an injury, and providing techniques, tools, and explanations why, so that you can then take action to help get yourself out of that pain, to help yourself recover from that injury, whatever it is. And today we're talking specifically about the feet. I have a lot of clients that struggle with plantar fasciitis, uh, ankle swelling, leg fatigue. And I wanted to address this because most foot pain is not necessarily a structural issue, it's really a congestion issue. And once you understand the why behind something, it's a lot easier then for you to understand or figure out what you need to do to fix it. Now, when it comes to the feet, gravity is always working against us. And so we have that against us when it comes to the feet and ankles, especially if you're on your feet all day. So the blood, the fluid, the lymphatic fluid is the inflammation is going to pool down in your ankles and your feet. So that's going to cause congestion, and that just kind of happens. Your body does a pretty good job of circulating it, but if you're not getting a lot of physical movement throughout the day, let's say you're sitting at a desk, that pooling down in your lower extremities is going to be a little worse. Secondly, if you've had an injury or if you've had an injury or you have some scar tissue down there in the lower extremities, your body is again going to build more tissue, creating more tension, more congestion down in your ankles and your feet. Now, what happens is, and the reason you feel pain in your feet is because all of that tension, all of that congestion, it signals to your body that there's an injury, that something is wrong, right? The body sees muscle tension as it's kind of like puts the body in a sense of alertness. And so there's tension in an area, the body goes, "Ooh, there's something wrong." And what the body does to think to fix that something wrong is to send more inflammation. Okay. Now, plantar fasciitis, any itis, that's inflammation. So plantar is telling us it's the bottom of the foot. Fasciitis, the fascia, the connective tissue in the plantar side of your foot. Itis, there's too much inflammation. The inflammation is hanging out for whatever reason down on the bottom of your feet. That tension and pressure, that congestion is signaling to your body that something is wrong, that there's some sort of injury. And then you're getting pain signals up into your brain. So it's kind of like a traffic jam, like a traffic jam on the freeway. And the traffic jam is the tight, congested tissue. So the solution is actually pretty simple. And that's the good news. The solution is we have to free up the traffic jam. And that's where we go into these 3 steps to fix it. Step number 1 is you got to get the tissue to move. If you're experiencing foot pain, plantar fasciitis symptoms, I got to bet that the tissue, like if you were to use your fingers and your thumbs and palpate your foot, the tissue's probably pretty stiff. And what we want is we want to get the tissue to slide and glide. Okay. And that's in massage therapy. That's kind of what we're doing when we're applying, our thumb, you get a massage and someone's applying their thumbs, they're kneading the tissue to help soften the tissue so that the layers of tissue can then slide and glide a little better against each other, because when those tissues are sliding and gliding, what that means is now fluid can circulate. But if the tissues are adhesed to each other, again, traffic jam, congestion. So, step one, you got to loosen up the tissue, and massage is really helpful for this. And great news is that massaging your feet is actually pretty easy. You can use your hands, you can use a tool. I love using like a lacrosse ball or a massage ball. All these tools are very inexpensive. So, massage ball, standing, massaging the bottom of the foot. Sometimes I even just use a padded dumbbell and I scrape the bottom of my foot with my dumbbell. I really like that. Again, a little disclaimer here. If you're in the middle of a flare up, okay, if your plantar fasciitis symptoms, your foot pain is really aggressive right now, you got to take it super slow. So I just want to throw that out there. When we are in a pain flare up, and I'm sorry if you're there, I've been there many, many times. You're not stuck, but it's best to go really slow with these techniques and, kind of wait till you're out of that really aggressive flare up stage. See if you can cool it down a little bit, get the nervous system to calm down, and then start to apply these techniques. So, massage, you got to find what works for you, figure it out. Also, if you have a massage gun, like a Theragun or Hyper Ice, there's lots of massage guns out there. You want to make sure it's a percussive gun, not a vibration gun. There's a big difference. Vibration is actually very stimulating to your tissues. Percussion, where it's going up and down, it's kind of punching the tissue. That is what's going to relax the tissue and soften the tissue. So, you use whatever you need. Find a technique, use your thumbs, but you got to get in there and loosen up the tissue. Now, there's a lot of videos online that are saying, don't massage the sole of your foot to fix plantar fasciitis. And the reason they're saying that, and I just want to throw this out there, is because massage alone is not going to fix your problem. So, massage is going to help loosen up the tissue, but that's only step one. Step two is you got to start to create space in your feet, space between your toes. Yes, so many of us take our feet for granted. I just got to comment on that. Yes, we do. We shove our feet into shoes. We wear thick rubber soles. Our feet are so important. Every step that you take, there is a exchange of energy from the ground up your whole body. So if you're not taking care of your feet and you don't have this awareness of your feet, there's not space between the bones in your feet, the exchange of energy when you take a step is not going to come up the body, creating a good alignment through your knees, your hips, your spine, the way you want it to. And so you're going to run into a lot of compensation patterns, but that's a discussion for another day. Let's just focus on what we can do right now, right? So, massage, loosen up the tissue. You figure out what works for you. Then you want to start to create space between your toes. How do you do that? One, you can wear toe spreaders. You can get fancy toe spreaders on Amazon, super cheap. Wear them around your toes. If you've never done that before, you want to slowly build. So maybe you start with 5 minutes a day, then you build to 20 minutes a day. Take it, 1 week at a time. You might be a little sore at first because we want the toes really to be able to spread like we spread our fingers. When we want to grab something with our hands, we spread our fingers, and we want our toes to kind of grab the ground as we walk. But in order to do that, you got to create space between those bones. So starting to wear toe spreaders, another thing, you could just use a sock. And I show my clients this all the time. You could literally thread a ankle sock in and out between your toes. It doesn't have to be fancy. While you're watching TV, while you're sitting at your desk, 5 minutes a day, and then you build up, maybe 20 minutes a day, maybe you build up to an hour a day. I'm at the point where I wear my toe spreaders for a good couple hours a day while I'm sitting at my desk. Getting those toes to spread while you have your toe spreaders on. Think about the ankle joint because that's going to affect your toes. So, drawing ankle circles, creating space is our step 2. So, we have space between the toe bones. Now we're thinking about, okay, getting the ankle joint to move, maybe even starting to stretch your feet, something like this. I just released another YouTube video, which is yoga for your feet. And in that YouTube video, I literally walk you through the stretches that I like to do for my feet. So check that out. It's on my YouTube channel. But create space. So step 1, you got to massage the tissue, especially if the tissue is really dense and congested. Applying pressure to the congested tissue using your hands or using a tool is going to help free up the layers of tissue, which allows for circulation in between those layers. Once we have that little bit of freedom in the layers, then we want to create space between the toes, wearing toe spreaders, however you want to create that, and starting to do some ankle circles, getting the ankle joint to move in all the directions that the ankle joint is supposed to move. Then that takes us into step 3. Step 3 is now we got to go up a little bit. So we're working the sole of the foot where usually your pain is. Massaging, we spread the toes, we work into the ankle a little bit, create space. But now we have to work up into this lower leg compartment because I got to bet if you have foot pain, your calf, your shin, these muscles are probably really tight too. So once you've, massage, spread toes, now we need to stretch the calf. So starting to build up, I'm going to use a yoga block here, but one of my favorite, you could use a step, you can use the curb outside. If you have stairs in your house, holding the railing of the stair as you do this is a great way to do it. But stretching your calf. So the ball of the foot and the toes are on the raised surface, and then you drop your heel. Now, you are in charge of intensity, and it doesn't have to be, super intense. You got to figure out what works for you. Sometimes you just start your other leg on the floor and you kind of build into it. Sometimes you got to rock into it. But getting this calf to stretch, eventually you want to be able to build up to where you could stretch your calf for a good 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Make sure you breathe. Stretch that calf out. Because when the calf muscle is really tight, it's going to pull on your Achilles tendon, which is attached to the tissue on the sole of your foot. So if this muscle is tight, it's going to pull the Achilles tendon up like this, which is going to pull the tissue up like this. And all that tension just adds to the traffic jam in the bottom of your foot. And that traffic jam is why your foot is in pain. I hope that makes sense. So putting those 3 things together, massage, create space in the bones in your foot, wear toe spreaders, make sure your ankle joint can move through its full range of motion. And then you got to stretch your calves. And you got to build up to it. This is not just like once in a while, boop, okay, I'm done. This is, all right, can I build up and hold that position 2 minutes, each leg? Remember, what is most important is that you're listening to your body. So with all of these techniques, you got to build up to it. Again, if you're in an acute flare-up stage, go super slow, wait till you're out of that pain flare up, and then, add a little bit more. When we have that pain in our feet, it is a congested issue. Too much tension, ugh, too much inflammation, the tissue's really tight. And so that tightness signals to our brain, alert, 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 something is wrong. And then you feel pain. But once you know, okay, it's just a congestion issue. Now you can start to do things. Okay, I got to clear up the traffic jam. It's a signal. Your body, pain is not punishment, pain is protection. And that is, I didn't say that, that is Stop Chasing Pain. Dr. Perry Nicholson, that's his thing. He says that. And I love that because it's so true. Sometimes we're in the physical pain cycle. I've been there many, many times. And we're just like, we're beating ourselves up because we think we're being punished for something. We think we did something wrong. No, your body's just talking to you. And so now that is your sign to, okay, body, okay, feet, I'm sorry, I haven't been paying attention to you. Let me do some things. Let me pull out my tools. Let me use my techniques and take some time every day to loosen up that tissue, to free up that traffic jam. Consistency is better than intensity, especially if this is something you've been dealing with for a long time. So finding something small, something that works for you, and doing that every day is better than being super intense and aggressive one time and then forgetting about it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here for you. You can leave it in the comments. I will respond to the best of my ability. You're not stuck. You're not stuck. There are things you can do. Remember, find something that works and be consistent with it. That's really the trick. Slowly build after you master that consistency. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. Once again, my name is Jessi. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon.